तपस्वाध्याय शुश्रूषा कृष्णपूजारतं मुनिम् विश्वेशमिष्टदं वन्दे परिव्राट् चक्रवर्तिनम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Hari Om to all. Welcome back to Bhagavad Gita session. Today we are going to look at Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 23. In the previous verse, Krishna explained that the Atma changes bodies just like a person changes his clothes. Now, Arjuna may still think, even if the soul changes bodies, it must still be affected or damaged somehow. Krishna now clarifies further. The Atma is completely unaffected by any physical force. Let us look at the verse first. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 23. Nainam chindhanti shastrani Nainam dahati pavakaha Nachainam kledayantyapo Nashoshayati marutaha. Not enam, this Atma, chindhanti, cut, shastrani, weapons. Not enam, this Atma, dahati, burns, pavakaha, fire. Not cha and enam, this Atma, kledayanti, moisten or wet. Apaha, water. Not shoshayati, dries. Marutaha, wind. Let us look at the simple meaning. The Atma cannot be cut by weapons. Atma cannot be burned by fire. Atma cannot be wetted by water. Or Atma cannot be dried by wind. If we go deeper explanation of this verse, we will see what will be the outcome. It starts with Nainam chindanti shastrani. Weapons cannot cut the Atma. Anything physical can be cut or broken or divided. But the Atma has no parts because it is not material thing. So, it cannot be cut or divided. And then, Nainam dahati pavakaha. Because when we do the operations during that time the body will be cut. Atma won't be hurt. If somebody will have question, if body is burning, what happens to soul or Atma? So they say, Nainam dahati pavakaha. Fire cannot burn the self. Again, fire affects only physical matters or objects. Atma has no physical structure, so it cannot be burned. So, can water harm the body? Of course, yes. But can water harm the soul? No. Nachainam kledayantyaapaha. Water cannot wet the self. Water can wet the body. Water can drown the body. But Atma cannot wet by water. Water can dissolve the body. Water can soften the body. Water can affect any physical substances. But Atma is not any substance. So, Atma cannot be affected by water. Will wind affect the Atma? Again it says no. Na shoshayati marutaha. Wind cannot dry the self or Atma. Wind can dry, erode or affect only material things. But the Atma is beyond physical interaction. So, Atma cannot be dried or alerted or altered. Krishna using 4 possible physical forces here. Weapons, earth-based, fire, water and air. In the Panchabhuta, he is taking all these 4. All these 4 will not, because body is formed by Panchabhutas. But this Atma cannot be harmed by all these 4 elements. So, weapons, they are earth-based, and fire and water and air. These are the 4 possible physical forces. So, no physical force can affect the Atma. Because everything in the material world is subject to damage, change or destruction. But Atma is beyond the material laws. And Atma is untouched by all physical processes. So you should not be worried about Atma. Why Krishna is teaching this thing here? Because Arjuna is afraid of destruction, violence and damage. Krishna removes that fear completely. The Atma cannot be harmed or Atma cannot be destroyed. So, fear based on physical destruction is misplaced. Remove that. and you will be okay. Because his theory is very simple. All changes require form, structure, and material composition. The Atma has none of this. So, it is beyond all forms of damage. So, you should not be worried. Get up and fight. What other Acharya says in this verse? Shankaracharya ji says, the Atma remains unchanged because it is partless and indivisible. So, weapons cannot cut it because cutting applies only to the things which has parts. Fire cannot burn it because it cannot be reduced or destroyed. Water cannot wet or dissolve the Atma because it cannot be broken down. Air cannot dry it because it has no material substance. All these forces affect only physical objects, not the Atma. Because Atma is beyond all physical elements and their actions. Therefore, Atma cannot be cut, Atma cannot be burned, Atma cannot be dissolved, Atma cannot be destroyed. Atma remains forever untouched and unchanged. What Madhvacharya ji says, in the material world, it may appear that beings are destroyed, but in reality, only the body is affected, not the soul. So, to remove such misunderstanding, Krishna clarifies that the Atma cannot be harmed or pierced in any way. Whether it is fire, weapons, water, or air. Just as there is no possibility of destroying the Supreme Lord, there is also no means to destroy the immortal soul or Atma. Thus, all apparent destructions belongs only to the physical level, never to the soul. In this verse, there is no commentary by Ramanujacharya. So what Keshav Kashmiri ji says, even if the body is destroyed, burned, cut or damaged, the Atma is never affected. Krishna removes the doubt that the Atma might be harmed along with the body by clearly stating it cannot be cut, it cannot be burned, it cannot be wet, it cannot be dried. So he is repeatedly saying never. So, the repeated use of never emphasizes that there is absolutely no possibility of the Atma being destroyed in any way. So, all destructions belongs only to the body. The Atma always remains untouched. So, consciousness is the symptom of the Atma and can be observed. But the Atma itself cannot be perceived or touched by any material instrument. This is because the Atma is divine and beyond all material interactions. Therefore, fire cannot burn the Atma, water cannot wet the Atma, air cannot dry the Atma. All material forces act only on matter, not on the soul or Atma. We can experience the presence of the soul through consciousness, but the Atma itself always remains beyond the reach of the physical world. So, Krishna makes it absolutely clear in this verse. No force in this world can affect the Atma. Weapons cannot cut it. Fire cannot burn it. Water cannot wet it. Wind cannot dry it. If I identify with the body, I fear harm. If I understand the Atma clearly, I become fearless. This verse removes the fear of physical destruction completely from Arjuna's mind. What happens next? What will be the Krishna's Upadesha? That we will see in the next session. Until that, Hari Om to all. God bless you all. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम शान्तिः, ओम शान्तिः, ओम शान्तिः, ओम शम्.